Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sure by the title of this video you guys can tell that today's video is gonna be a review, and today I'm gonna be reviewing the Chambor Extreme Matte Longwear Foundation. So in case if you guys want to see what my review on this foundation is, then please continue watching. But before I start this video, like always, in case if you guys are new here, hi, my name is Marjorie and I make beauty and skincare related videos here on YouTube. And if that's your cup of tea, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also click the bell notification to be notified every time I post a video. And also follow me on all my social media accounts. The links to everything will be down in my description box below. So yeah, let me just jump straight onto the video. Okay, so I don't have anything on my face right now. I don't even have any moisturizer on. I only have some eye cream on and that's about it. So first I'm going to be starting by prepping my face really well. Since it's a matte foundation, I really want to make sure that I moisturize my skin really well. I any which ways prep my face really well before applying any sort of makeup, so it's only fair for me to prep my skin even more before I put a matte foundation on. So today for moisturizer, I'm going to be using my Cetaphil moisturizing cream. Yeah, I'm going to be rubbing the moisturizer in between my hands and then I'm going to be applying it on my face. So the moisturizer is on, so my face feels really nice and moisturized and ready for foundation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be putting primer on this side of my face, basically on the right side of my face. On the left side I am not going to be putting any primer on, simply because I want to see how well it performs with the primer and without a primer, and also I want to see how long it lasts. I mean, if a primer helps or if it doesn't help. So for primer, I'm going to be using my Nykaa Prep Me Up Face Primer. So I'm going to be using very little amount of it. I'm going to be rubbing it in between my fingers and then I'm going to be pressing it in. I'm basically focusing this primer on my T-zone area because that's the area where I tend to produce a lot of oil. My T-zone is really oily. So I'm going to let the primer set for a little bit. So while the primer is setting, I'm going to give you guys some more details on this foundation and what it promises. So this is the Chambor Extreme Matte Longwear Foundation. It's got SPF 8. It retails for 1,145 and you get 30 ml of product in it. And this foundation comes in 4 shades. I am using the shade 102 Ivory Medium. Let's see what this foundation claims to do. Chambor Extreme Matte Longwear Foundation is a lightwear medium to high coverage fluid foundation, specially formulated for oily and combination skin. It evens out discoloration, conceals imperfection, and minimizes the appearance of pores while delivering a shine-free, flawless satin matte finish. Enriched with silicone cross polymers, provides a seamless and comfortable application. It offers a matte finish that stays put without setting into fine lines. We shall see that. Okay, so before I jump onto the review and on the demo, let me give you guys a little info about my skin type. So I have combination to oily skin type, mostly oily. Especially during summers, my skin tends to get really oily. Oh, and mostly my T-zone as well. It's very oily. It secretes a lot of oil throughout the year. And I've also got sensitive acne prone skin. I've got some enlarged pores on the centers of my face, and as you guys can see, I've got some acne scars and some discoloration around my mouth. The left side of my face is pretty okay, but I would say the right side is not so perfect. From what the foundation claims, it looks like a nice foundation for people with oily skin type. So I guess I'm gonna be the right judge for this foundation. So let's just jump onto the review. This is what the packaging looks like. It comes in a carton, I mean inside a box, but I threw away the box, so I don't have it. In case if I have a picture of it, I'll insert it somewhere on the screen. It's a glass bottle, so it's not travel friendly whatsoever. The lid is plastic. It doesn't feel very cheap or flimsy, but it doesn't feel too luxurious as well. And then it also comes with a pump, which is great, and I really appreciate foundation that has pump on it. it just simply makes it easier to pump out the foundation. So yeah, like I mentioned, I have it in the shade 102 Ivory Medium. The shade range of this foundation is not that great, to be honest, and I'm not gonna lie, when Chambor reached out to me for collaboration, they asked me what foundation shade I am. So they sent me a link to this foundation on their page, and they asked me to pick a foundation shade for myself. And from the foundation swatches on the website, 102 looked like my skin tone, but when I received it, it was way too light. I tried to exchange it with a different color, but sadly I couldn't exchange it. So yeah, so the foundation shade does not matches me whatsoever, but we shall make it work. So before you guys comment that saying that, you know, the foundation shade is way too light for me, I know it is light. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking like a pump. So as you guys can tell, the foundation is not too liquidy, it's not too thick, it's somewhere in between. And yeah, it does not have a scent per se, but it does smell like foundation, if you know what I mean. But it's not something which is too extreme or too potent, it's very mild. Okay, so I'm gonna be using my Eco Tool sponge to apply the foundation. I have used this foundation once. I wore it like for an hour and then I took it off. And that time I used a foundation brush to apply this and didn't really like how it applied with the brush, so I'm gonna use a sponge. So in case if you have this foundation, or in case if you're interested in foundation, I would recommend using a sponge. I'm gonna start with this side of my face. Oh god, this foundation is really light. Okay, so this is what the foundation looks like with one layer. I wouldn't say that it's a full coverage foundation. I would definitely say that it's a medium coverage, because I still see some acne scars peeking through on the right side of my face. The left side looks even. Any which ways, the left side of my face doesn't really have a lot of problem or acne scars to cover, so left side looks absolutely fine. I squeezed one pump of it, but I used only half of it, so I guess a little does goes a long way with this foundation. So I'm gonna come in a little bit close so that you guys can see how this foundation looks like up close. So now to see how well it layers, I'm gonna put another layer on top, especially where I have some acne scars on the right side of my face. And so let's see how it goes. Okay, so one thing I've noticed is that this foundation oxidizes a bit. I guess if you saw in the previous clip, when I first applied the foundation, it was a little too pale for me, but then oxidized ever so slightly. So yeah, do keep that in mind. Okay, so this is what the foundation looks like with two layers of foundation. I don't think so I'll go with another layer on top. It covered my acne scar a little bit more, but not completely, so I wouldn't say that it's a high coverage whatsoever. I'm gonna come in a little bit close for you to see the finish. Okay, so from the first impressions, what I can tell is that I do like the finish of it. Like it claims, it does have a satin matte finish. It doesn't look too matte or too flat, I would say. However, I wouldn't say that this is the type of foundation that you can layer, because on the initial layer it was absolutely fine, but when I applied the second layer, I can see some patchiness and I can see that it's already looking a bit cakey, especially where I have my acne scars and around my cheek area. So when I touched my face doesn't feel tacky, maybe like ever so slightly, but that's not something that's, you know, bothering me. Okay, so since it's a matte foundation, I usually don't set my matte foundation, but since I'm doing a wear test, I would like to set it ever so slightly. So to set my foundation, I'm gonna be using my Sephora 8-hour mattifying pressed powder. I'm using very little amount of it. I'm just gonna be setting my face very lightly. So it's currently 5 p.m. I know I'm doing this foundation wear test very late, but I really had to film this video, so Yeah, so yeah, let me just do my face makeup real quick and I'm gonna be right back.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I'm done with my makeup look. It's currently 6:14 p.m. So it took me a little over an hour to do my makeup. When I was applying my bronzer and blush on top, I had no difficulty, you know, blending out those products on top. My bronzer went very smoothly on top of the foundation, so did my blush, highlighter and all of that. I also have some concealer on. I did set my concealer, mainly focused the powder to set my concealer over here and over here. Very light layer of powder I may add. So I will be doing check-ins throughout the day, so you guys can see how my makeup looks like throughout the day. Before I continue with my day or my evening, let me just come in a little bit close and show you guys how my skin looks like with all the powder, concealer, blush and all of that. First check-in of the day, first or second? I guess the first check-in was when I was done filming this makeup look, so I'll take this as a second check-in of the day. So the first check-in was at 6:14 p.m. I guess like around like 6:15ish. So it's currently 7:31 p.m. I applied this foundation at around 5 p.m. It's been around 2.5 hours. So far so good. I do not see a lot of oil peeking through, but definitely my face has started to get a little bit oily. Like now that I'm looking at my face close up, the left side of my face, basically the unprimed side, I can see that it started to settle onto my pores. So if you see here carefully, the foundation has started settling in my pores, so I'm not too fond of that. Yeah, my nose, I would say that it feels oily. So yeah, I mean, I'm okay with how it's looking so far. I don't think so that I need a touch-up. The centers of my face is definitely getting a little bit oily, but not something too concerning where I would grab a compact and start touching up. Okay, so this is what my face looks like right now. It's currently 8:49 p.m. I washed my brushes and my sponges, but I'm just gonna have dinner now. This is what my face looks like. The centers of my face still looks oily. It started to look even more oilier than it was earlier. There's oil on my hand, but other than that, it's been staying put. This is gonna be my second last check-in, and then the last check-in that I'm gonna be doing is gonna be my final review. So let me just go have dinner now and I'll be right back. Hey guys, so this is gonna be my final check-in for the day. It's currently 10 p.m. right now. Okay, so I've had this foundation on for 5 hours now. The T-zone looks super oily. Let me come in a little bit close so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. I don't know if you guys can tell because of the lighting. The foundation has definitely settled in between my eyebrows. The foundation has completely rubbed off here on my nose. If you see my chin, it looks really cakey. To be honest, I am not really a huge fan of this foundation for what this foundation claims. This foundation did not withstand those promises, and I am a little upset about it because this foundation, it's not cheap. It's more than 1,000 rupees. So when any product crosses the 1,000 rupees mark, I get very nitpicky with those products. It's supposed to last you throughout the day, which it didn't. It looks very heavy on your face. After a while, it starts to look very cakey. So the more it sits on your face, the more it starts settling onto your skin texture, your skin pores. The sides of my face and everything looks absolutely fine. But yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of how it's sitting on the centers of my face. And for someone like me who's an oily skin type, this is a no-no. So in case if I were to rate this product out of 10, I would rate it a 6. Would I recommend this to anybody? I would say no, because I feel like there are better options available in the market when it comes to foundation, which is almost a fraction of this. I love my Maybelline Fit Me, which is almost half of what they are selling this for. So I would definitely skip this one. Although I would continue to use it, I would not recommend it to anybody whatsoever. The shade range is absolutely shitty. They've only got like 4 shades in this foundation. I don't know what they're doing. Chambor, if you're watching this video, come on, what are you guys doing? You guys can do better than that. I'm not really a huge fan of it, and if I haven't said it out loud, I don't like this foundation. It did not perform the way it's supposed to perform. So yeah, I would not recommend this foundation to anybody. And yeah, I guess that's that for the review of this foundation. With that, I'm gonna take a leave and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye.